All right, guys, welcome. It's been a few days since I've done a YouTube live stream. Hope you guys are doing good. 5 games to talk about on this slate. I think it's a pretty solid slate. Make sure if you guys do enjoy the videos, the live streams, to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, I'll be doing, again, Q&A live streams, so make sure to leave questions in the chat. Questions I can't really answer are like, what are the best value plays or what are the best plays? You know, I got to save some for Patreon members, but can definitely answer like 1v1s or 2v2s, or, you know, if you want to put your lineup in there, I can take a look at it and give my thoughts. But yeah, let's get into it. So as far as injury news goes, expect the Lakers' big three to play. LeBron's questionable, but like he's gonna be questionable, I feel like, every single slate now. So I fully expect him to play. We got news that Brandon Ingram is doubtful. Porzingis got ruled out. Bam Adebayo expect to play. Ayton is fully up in the air. He did not participate in shoot around, which is not the best sign. Devontae Graham on the probable side. So yeah, and then we're waiting on Jayshawn Tate and Daniel Tice. That's actually pretty significant too. If they're both out, you guys know I love Sengun, so he would become a pretty solid value play there. But yeah, guys, leave some questions in the chat. Let's do it. Yahoo lineup of Hill, Booker, Kevin Porter Jr., Jimmy, Melo, Bam, and Sengun. I don't really see any issues. The one player I don't love is Melo. He had an outlier game last game, so I don't know what his price is over there on Yahoo, but like on Draftkings, he doesn't really stand out. Hill, Cunningham, Patsy, Thanasis, JV, Doncic. I like where you're going for there. Kind of that stars and scrubs build. I like it. If Ayton plays, I'll probably switch. Okay, yeah. What you could also do if Ayton does play, you could still play McGee himself, or if Dwight Howard is out, you can pivot to DeAndre Jordan. I think DeAndre Jordan's only $100 more. Yeah, I saw that as well. They don't believe Cade Cunningham is on a minutes limit. If that is in fact true, then obviously he looks like a really solid value. 150 Cade. So I don't know if I would go that crazy, but if there's no limit, what do we expect minutes-wise from him? Maybe 27 to 30 minutes, I would say, from Cade. So if we do get that at sub 4K, it's going to look really, really good. Now, is there a guarantee he's not on limit? No, he just doesn't think he's going to be on a limit. So we'll see. But yeah, I think he looks like a really solid play. I haven't seen anything on Portis yet, so we'll monitor that one. Brad with the $10 super chat. Glad to have you back, brother. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Super generous of you. DK, you're a legend. Appreciate it, man. Thanks, man. Can you tell us anything you like on PrizePicks? Sure. Let's take a look. Let's see if anything's changed. I'll refresh. All right, let's see. There was a couple things that stand out. Yeah, so like I know it's a really tough matchup, but I like the over on Luka. If that game stays competitive, I know it's a terrible matchup. I'm gonna lean the over there on 47.5 for Luka. Was there anything else? I like the over on Kevin Porter Jr. The way that hits under, I think, is if the game blows out, which it is a chance. But if the game stays close and Kevin Porter Jr. plays 35 minutes, I think he goes over 26. So the only real risk there, obviously, is potential blowout, which is definitely real. But again, if Kevin Porter Jr. plays around 35 minutes, I think he goes over 26 fantasy points. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, feeling a little bit better, actually, today. You got Cunningham, NAW, Hart, Giannis, Valanciunas, Hero, Portis, and McGee for GPP. Okay, yeah, so Devontae Graham is expected to play, but no Brandon Ingram. That's a pretty big bump to the other guys in the Pelicans starting lineup. Now, the one thing I'll say there is Brandon Ingram being out does increase the chance of a blowout, so you got to factor that in. There's a few games that are teetering like they could blow out. Cade projected 40% GBP is a good chalk. Well, if the news is true that he is, in fact, no limit, then I think he makes for a really solid value. Could you technically get away from it? I think there's other value, right? You have the Bucks value, McGee if Ayton's out. There's actually a lot of viable value options, potentially some in Houston if Daniel Tice and Jayshawn Tate can't go. Definitely check out. Yeah, man. And more info's down below. Let me know if you have any questions. Any thoughts on showdown build on the Bucks? I haven't looked at that slate at all, but what I would do would be play Giannis in the captain, probably pair him with a couple Bucks value plays. I would probably play Cade Cunningham too. So that's how I would start the build. How many Bucks is too many? It depends on what happens with a couple other pieces of news. But I think, you're probably going to want to get a couple for sure in there. Now, again, depends on the rest of the value, but you could theoretically play up to like $4, I think. JB or LBJ. Wait. Jimmy Butler. Okay. Jimmy Butler or LeBron. It would be Jimmy Butler for me. My reasoning is when the Lakers' big three are all playing, well, first you got to factor in that there's a chance this game doesn't stay competitive. So there's a chance these guys play limited minutes. Second, they're all priced around 10K. When they're all healthy, they're all just tournament options. Now, if one misses, that's when I'm pretty excited to play some Lakers. How much of a bump does NAW get now? Small usage bump there without Ingram. Yeah, he's probably going to do a little bit more. Devontae Graham's probably going to do a little bit more. Would expect Josh Hart to get some decent minutes. Man, getting a lot of love. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, man. Yeah, actually, I'm feeling a little bit better. Just been drinking a lot of Gatorade. If Cade doesn't have a limit, would you switch? So, are you asking if there's no limit for Cade, would I rather have Cade or Pat Connaughton? Yeah, I'd rather have Cade. So, I will say Ayton did not participate in shoot around. So, there's a chance he doesn't play. Hey, DK, rate my DK line. Let's see. Hill, Donovan Mitchell, Herb Jones, Giannis, Gobert, Cade, Thanasis, and Bam. So, Herb Jones is probably going to get some decent minutes. He is. Last game, kind of an outlier, right? He had 28 fancy points. He played 36 minutes. I think most of the time he's going to hover around 15 fancy points. So I think he's a secondary play for me. So he's not one I'm super excited about. Everything else I have no issue with. Do you like Gobert against Sacramento or Bam against Dallas more? Yeah, that's a good question. I think both look pretty good. I think I would lean Bam, though. I think the upside's a little bit higher on Bam. Gobert does have upside, but he's going to need one of those games where he goes for 20-plus rebounds to really break the slate or have 5-plus blocks. Luka or Jimmy for GPP? It's a good question. I'm going to go Luka there. I don't think Luka is going to be that popular today. He's not been playing great to start the season. It's a really tough matchup. I think he's going to be pretty low-owned. So a low-owned Luka. I know he's not been great. I know it's a tough matchup, but it might be one I'm willing to roll the dice in for tournaments and just hope we get Luka of old, right? Hill, Cade, Luka. Who was that in between? McGee, Pat. Yeah, everything else looks solid there. I hope Ayton sits so JV can smash. That's another thing. If DeAndre Ayton sits, I think Jonas Valanciunas gets a bump. Yeah, right? Because DeAndre Ayton, I think he's a okay defender. I wouldn't say he's an amazing defender. I don't think he's awful too. He was pretty bad to start his career, but he's done better on the defensive end. If it's JaVale McGee out there or Jalen Smith, Jonas Valanciunas has a lot of weight on them, right? JaVale McGee is a skinny guy, so Jonas Valanciunas should be able to overpower him. Same with Jalen Smith. So, I agree. If there's no Ayton, I think that's a boost to Jonas Valanciunas, too. Dwight Powell, project him for 30 minutes. I think he's a good value. I do. Without Porzingis and Kleber, I expect him to play close to 30 minutes. Now, the only thing is you have to look at the opportunity cost of center, right? Because if DeAndre Ayton gets ruled out, are you going to rather go to 30 minutes of Dwight Powell or 28 minutes of JaVale McGee? So that would be a tough one if you don't get that Ayton news before lock on what you want to do there, right? Hill, Cade, Luka, Giannis, Bam, Grayson, Allen, Thanasis, and Powell. No issue there. Bobby Portis, I need to see the news on Portis. If there's no limit for Portis, I think he makes a really solid play. You turned 15 into $333. Nice, man. Congrats. You faded Cole Anthony for Dinwiddie. It was a stupid pivot. I had the chance of taking down the 100K tournament if you stayed with Cole. Cole's been phenomenal. Congrats on the big night. I did not expect this from Cole Anthony, right? From what I saw in the Summer League, he wasn't great. He was really struggling. Him, Suggs, RJ Hampton are all splitting minutes. I thought it would just be kind of a mess with those guards, but Cole has really established himself as their go-to guy on this team. So I'm a little bit surprised how well Cole Anthony has been playing so far. Have you jumped on dibs on MTs yet? I have not, no. I really haven't looked at much other than Top Shot. Is Graham an okay play? Yeah, I think Graham, NAW, get a usage bump without Ingram, so perfectly fine with them. Obviously, it's not the best matchup. I would say NAW, small lean to NAW, but I'm also a little bit biased. NAW is one of my favorite players, so you got to take that in consideration. I think it's basically a toss-up, but yeah, I would lean NAW. Again, though, a little bit biased there. KPJ or NAW if you have JV. I think KPJ. If the Rockets can keep that game close, I like the price in Kevin Porter Jr. Now, again, there's the risk with the blowout. There's also a risk of the blowout with the Pelicans, right? With no Ingram. Let's see. What is that? What are the lines on those games right now? I'm guessing it's double digit for both. So, got to factor that in. Yeah, so it's 11.5 for the Suns, and it's 10 for the Lakers. So, both games have a chance of not staying close. Is 1,200 left in the salary too much today to leave on the table? Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that. I think on like a really small slate, you can do it. 5-gamer, Mix the Gatorade with water, 50-50. Might have tried out. Do you like Herb Jones? I think I prefer other value. Kira Lewis. With Devontae Graham in, not much interest there. Or Devontae Graham expected to play. Yeah, from what I saw, there's no limit on Katie Cunningham. Or he doesn't think so. So if there is no limit, I'm expecting high 20s minutes from him, which makes him a really good value. Would you play Bay or Jeremy Grant in the showdown with the Bucks? I don't have a super strong lean. Those two always look pretty similar to me. I guess if I had to pick, it would be Bay. But Sadiq Bey and Jeremy Grant are always play similar minutes, always look pretty similar to me. So it's not a super strong take. I guess it would be Bay, but yeah, I'm not super confident in that. Grayson Allen or Pat Connaughton, I think they're pretty similar. I think both play around 30 minutes. You know, Grayson a little reliant in the scoring. Pat Connaughton's a decent rebounder, but we also saw his floor last game too. So both have a floor. I don't have a super strong take on which one I prefer. Chris Paul or Booker. So I'll say Booker has more upside, right? Booker can go for 50 plus. Chris Paul, a little bit of a higher floor. He'll handle the ball more. So depends what you're going for there. Chris Paul still has an upside, but Booker really is the guy that could break the slate. Ayton was in shoot around, just limited. Yeah, I saw him like passing. I saw a video of him like passing to the bigs in the post, which is, I think, not the best sign if he's not like in those post-up drills, right? They were posting up. It was like Jalen Smith, it was Kaminsky, and it was Ayton like passing them the ball. I don't know. I mean, there's still a chance obviously he plays, but yeah, I just went over that. I think I like the over on Luka and Kevin Porter Jr. Luka, Bam, Butler mini stack. I don't hate it. You're fading Giannis, which is pretty risky, but the Miami guys look pretty solid. It's a decent matchup for them. Not the best matchup for Luka, but I don't think Luka's going to be super popular. Hill, Cade, Luka, Thanasis, Bam, KPJ, Bridges, Mitchell. Bridges is the one guy I'm always just like, I just never... They're always secondary plays, right? You lump like those, the Suns and the Jazz, like wings, I just never have a take on unless someone's out. So like Royce O'Neal, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Ingles, Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson. They're always just like fine plays, but they never stand out to me. I will say Cam Johnson does feel a little bit too cheap on the slate at 3.3K if he in fact plays like low to mid 20s minutes. But yeah, Bridges just doesn't really stand out to me. Like, he can have upside, but so if that's your last piece in and you want to go for it, fine. Like, I don't hate Mikal Bridges. It just doesn't, they never stand out. Hill, Allen, Luka, Thanasis, McGee, Cade, Giannis, JV. I like it. For FanDuel, thoughts on Luka, Nila. I don't think I can play Ntilikina. How many minutes did he play last game? He played 21. Yeah, I don't think I can do it. I think there's just better value. So that's one I don't love. Caleb Martin, not really. Wait, on Miami, yeah, not really interested in him either. So those two I have basically no interest in. Any other player for small forward over Hart at the same price? So Josh Hart, was he 4.9? I mean, you have the Milwaukee guys, right? Like Connaughton and Nwora, you can make the argument for. I do think Eric Gordon becomes a little bit interesting if Jayshawn Tate misses. Would expect him to play more. So, yeah, you have a couple like secondary options. I'm fine with Hart, fine with Gordon, fine with the Milwaukee guys. I don't know if one really stands out more than Hart. Yeah, Bam 100% over Harrison Barnes for me. Melo in play, I think he'll be over-owned. Last game was an outlier, so I'm not super interested in Melo. I expect Bam to play. I think Ayton is truly questionable. He didn't participate in shoot-around or was limited in shoot-around. Not really on Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, again, he'll play big minutes, but like he just doesn't really have an upside. Like he'll probably play around 30 minutes and get you 20-ish fancy points. So like again, same thing I said about those Phoenix wings like Crowder and Bridges. Sure, you can play them, but they don't really stand out point per dollar to me. Barnes, Graham, or Grant. Barnes, Graham, or Grant. Probably Barnes, I guess. I don't really want to go there, but he's been playing really well. How do you feel about Kelly O? Fine for tournaments. Minutes have fluctuated on him a bit. He's coming off the bench. If he plays closer to that 30-minute mark, I like him a good amount. If he's going to settle around low 20s, then not as much. Grayson Allen, Markel Bridges. I guess Grayson Allen. I think he'll have more opportunities. Again, though, like I don't hate Markel Bridges. He's 5'2". He'll play around 30 minutes. He can have some upside, but most of the time he's going to hover around 20 to 25 fancy points. So, yeah, not a ton of interest in Melo. It says no limit when you click on Cade to Cunningham. Yeah, again, I think Cade's a pretty solid value. Make sure, guys, you're just coming in to hit that like button. We're at about 200 concurrent viewers. Only 35 likes. I'll be on for another 10, 15 minutes. Can we get that to like 70, 80 likes before I get out of here? Would appreciate it. Value 4,500 and under. Let's take a look. So in that range, 4,500 and under. And keep an eye on Portis news. If there's no limit on Portis, I think I go there. So Portis, I think Sengun, if those Houston guys are out, looks good too. Or, you just go down to like Cade Cunningham at 3.6K or George Hill. That, in my opinion, look pretty good. But then you're leaving a little bit of salary on the table. And I don't know what the rest of your lineup looks like. Hill, Cade, Hart, Giannis, Powell, Allen, Luka. Okay. Luka or Russ. Luka straight up, yeah. I mean, when the Lakers' big three are all playing, they're all just secondary plays for me. Plus, you got to factor in there's a chance the game doesn't stay competitive. Prize Picks Powell, 8.5 over is a good one. Fantasy points. It's not 8.5, is it? You mean like real life points for Dwight Powell? Yeah, because he's at 23 fancy points. So you mean like real life points? Don't have a super strong take. I do think he'll play around close to 30 minutes. You like Fox? Doesn't really stand out on this slate. If you want to roll the dice in him as a low and contrarian play, you can. It's a small slate. Fox does have upside, even though he has yet to have a good game this year. Right? Kind of like Damian Lillard. I've been trying to play Damian Lillard. Waiting for that big game. I've taken a shot on Fox a couple times. He has yet to have a good shooting game. Thoughts on Josh Hart? I think he's a pretty solid value play. I expect around 30 minutes without Ingram. Bam's going to play. I'm almost 100% positive. Bam practiced fully yesterday, so he's going to play. Now, if for some reason he does play, it does not play, I love Dedmon. Obviously, he was phenomenal last game. Just got in massive foul trouble. Dedmon could have won for 50 fantasy points if he didn't get in foul trouble last game. And Boban, not much interest. Hill, Cade, Luka, yeah, I think that's a pretty good build. I like it. Hill or Cunningham? Cunningham. Yeah, let me know. Just put it in the chat. I'll give my thoughts. Westbrook or only if LeBron or Davis gets ruled out. Yeah, so like the Lakers' big three are all secondary options for me right now. Unless one of them get ruled out, I expect both to play though. NAW in play. He's not shot the best this year, but he's playing around 30 minutes. He's still relatively high usage. So for tournaments, again, him, Graham are definitely in play. Like one of those guys gonna have to have a big game. Middleton has COVID. Dang. Yeah, Melo is just again feels like a chase. Ingram out. Okay, we expected that. Gobert, Bam, Luka, Bam, Thanasis, or Butler, JV, and Portis. I'll say the second one if Portis is if there's no limit. Luka, Connaughton, Allen, both Antetokounmpo brothers, Hill, Cam Johnson, Chris Paul. Yeah, I think it's fine. If Portis is getting full minutes, yeah, I would rather have Portis than Nwora if there's no limit. Like Portis is just a better point per minute guy. Now, Nwora does have upside, but you saw that floor last game, right? Nwora was about 60, 70%, I forget, in the Thunderdome, so he was very popular last slate. And he was a massive bust, but he does have that floor. Like I played him in Summer League a couple times where Jordan Nwora played like 30 minutes and had like 10 fancy points because he couldn't hit his shots. Sengun or McGee if Ayton is out, McGee, 100%. Yeah. So I've already been asked, but KPJ or NAW? It's a good question. I'll say KPJ. Pretty close, though. What happens for Sengun to become viable? Sengun's viable right now. Like, he is viable no matter what. I think he plays close to 20 minutes. But if there's no Tice, you could see Sengun start and maybe play 25-plus minutes. And then he becomes a really good value. What game looks the chalkiest to you? The Bucks game, by far. That's where the most ownership's going to be. For JV over holds back throw Gobert, yes. I think the uptide's higher in JV. There's a little bit more risk with blowout. But yeah, if the Pelicans want to keep this game competitive without Brandon Ingram, you're most likely going to see a pretty big game from Jonas Valanciunas. The way he fails, I think, is foul trouble or blowout. Do you like Dwight Powell? I think he's a safe value play. Now, there could be better values depending on the late games news. So, like, whether or not you want to go to Powell in the early game is a tough question because we don't know the status of guys like DeAndre Ayton. We don't know the status of those Houston guys. Do you think So I think Whiteside's a pretty interesting GBP play. Like, no one's going to play him today with all, like, there's a decent amount of value at center. But, like, if I'm building a lot of lineups tonight, guys, I think I threw a few with Whiteside in there. First of all, it's a great matchup against Sacramento, a revenge game. Second, look at these minutes. He's playing 15 to 18 minutes a game. He's a great rebounder, a good shot blocker. We know he's a good point per minute guy. If for some reason, like, Rudy Gobert gets in foul trouble, Whiteside could absolutely smash. So I think he's a pretty sneaky play. Not someone I don't think I could go to for my, like, single entry lineup, but, like, if I was building a ton of lineups tonight, I think I would want a little bit of Whiteside. Like, he's just going to go very low owned. Hill, Cade, Luka, Giannis brothers, McGee. Yeah, looks good. What do you expect Buck starters to be? So I expect both Giannis's, both Antetokounmpos, Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, and George Hill. Booker, Allen, Connaughton, Portis, Valanciunas, Cade, Giannis, Sengun. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Can Ayton please be out? Yeah, we're probably not going to get that news until later. Like, I don't think we get that news before the early games lock. Is Hill kind of fake considering he doesn't have a good ceiling? I mean, you don't have to play George Hill. I think George Hill's a safe play. I agree. He doesn't really have a ceiling, but 30 minutes of George Hill, he's probably going to get you around 20 fantasy points. So you can take that, or you can go elsewhere. I don't think you have to play him. Luka or Giannis or both? Much prefer Giannis to Luka. Just a way better matchup, and everyone's out. Thoughts on Josh Jackson? Don't mind him as contrarian value play. He did well off the bench, but there is Cade now too, so that's like, might lose a couple minutes. I think we get around low 20s minutes from Josh Jackson off the bench. So viable contrarian play, but yeah, doesn't really stand out. You think Hero continue to ball out? He's playing well. I think he plays around 30 minutes. Viable tournament option. Fox or Paul? Paul. Any Pelicans value? Not much. I think Josh Hart would probably be my favorite value for the Pelicans. Thoughts on Luka and Giannis together? You couldn't make it work. I think Luka is a viable contrarian play. I don't think he really stands out for an optimal build. Thoughts on Cunningham over 9 points on Prize Picks? I think you need to get that over. There's no limit. Yeah. How many minutes should the Greek Freak's brother get? So Thanasis Antetokounmpo? That's a good question because, well, first, he's always in foul trouble. So if he stays out of foul trouble, I think we get 20 to 25 minutes. He played 32 last game. I think that's a little bit of an outlier. I would say 20 to 25. But he is prone to foul trouble, so obviously he could play less if he gets in severe foul trouble. But I think no foul trouble in a competitive game, 20 to 25 from Thanasis. Luka, Grayson, or Jimmy and NAW? Yeah, the second one probably looks a little bit more optimal. Kier Lewis is good. Yeah, but I'm not really looking to him with Devontae Graham in. Powell or DFS? Powell for the discount. Rate my lineup: Luka, K, Jimmy, Giannis, Sengun, Hill. I like it. Favorite game stack? Favorite game stack? The first one, even though it's going to be the chalk, Milwaukee, Detroit. Who do you switch McGee to? When do you switch McGee to Smith if Ayton is out, meaning in a late swap situation? Good question. So, yeah, if Ayton is out and your lineup in the early games isn't looking great, then, you want to switch to Jalen Smith there because he's going to be, like, super, super low owned. Everyone's going to have McGee, and maybe something weird happens, right? Maybe McGee gets in foul trouble. But you're giving yourself a chance to win. If in the early games you're not looking great, you got to do something, right? You got to pivot off the chalk. That's going to give you at least a chance. So that's when you would switch to Jalen Smith from McGee if your lineup early on is not doing good. Kevin Porter Jr., Hero, KPJ. Mitchell, thoughts? Perfectly fine. I think he goes a little bit overlooked in the slate. It's a good matchup. But yeah, I think he's fine. Luka and Thanasis or Jimmy and Pat Connaughton. I'll say the first one. Chris Middleton out. Yeah, we kind of. I think we already knew he was out today. You think Ayton plays? If I had to guess, I would say no. He was not participated or participated in a little bit. I don't think he plays, but that's my guess. Mitchell or Luka tonight. Luka, if you have the salary. Miami Heat -3 tonight. Don't mind that. The Mavs have been not great. Bam in. Yeah, expected that. Your DraftKings. When do I go place a risk-free parlay? When do I go play? That would be probably a question for DraftKings support. Yeah, I don't know if I don't really have an answer for that. Grayson or Eric Gordon depends on the status of those of Jayshawn Tate and Tice. If they're both out, I might lean Eric Gordon, but right now it's probably Grayson. Jalen Smith or Frank Kaminsky. So I think Jalen Smith plays the backup 5. That would be my guess. So if Ayton gets rolled out, I think it's Jalen Smith that plays the backup 5. Mitchell, Booker, Paul, who do you like the best? The safest option, I think, is Chris Paul. Good matchup, mid 7Ks. He looks pretty safe. Upside-wise, if we're looking at Mitchell versus Booker, I think I would lean the discount on Booker over Mitchell. All right, guys, a couple more minutes. Make sure to leave any more questions. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate everyone coming to check it out. We had about 230 concurrent viewers right now, 73 likes. Appreciate that, guys. With the value tonight, would you stack Giannis and Luka together? You can. Again, I don't think Luka is an optimal play because the matchup against Miami. But I do kind of like Luka for tournaments. Nothing really changes. I think Bam's a good play. I think he's too cheap. My issue with Holmes, I get it, but there's just so many good plays at center. So can I play a 6K Rashawn Holmes against Gobert? I just don't think I can. I don't. I think Connaughton versus Grayson Allen is pretty. I think both play around 30 minutes. Allen can be a little reliant in scoring, but Connaughton also has a floor too. We saw it last game. I think it's pretty similar. Thoughts on Dorian Finney-Smith? Just a secondary option. In a competitive game, probably plays low 30s minutes and probably gets to 20 fancy points. Bam in. Yeah, Luka over I like. I'm prize picks at 47.5 and the over on Kevin Porter Jr. at 26. If the Rockets can keep that game close, if the game is competitive and Kevin Porter Jr. plays 35 minutes, he's most likely going to go over 26 fantasy points. The way that fails, obviously, is the blowout, which is possible. Oh, sorry I worried you, man. Yeah. I'm still active on Twitter, but and obviously doing Patreon content. But, yeah, just under the weather and traveling. Bay, him and Jeremy Grant never really stand out to me, but they do have upside. Fine secondary play, but, yeah, it doesn't really stand out. 7,700. Let's take a look. 7,700. I would go Chris Paul. Now, again, you got to factor in Chris Paul. There's a chance the game doesn't stay competitive, but good matchup here against the Pelicans. Should play 32-ish minutes or so, low 30s in a competitive game. So I like Chris Paul if the Pelicans keep it close. What's up, Dory? Gobert scoring 40 tonight? I think he gets around that. Yeah, of course. George Hill, CP3, or Kevin Porter Jr. and Bridges. The first one for me. Brunson 4,600. That feels a little bit too cheap on FanDuel. Yeah, I think he's priced about right in DraftKings. 46 feels too cheap. Assuming 8 now, Chris Paul and Booker together with a JV run back. Yeah, I think like a mini game stack. I think that's fine. JV or Wood, JV. Thanks for stream, DK. Best wishes. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, feeling better, but appreciate the kind words. Porter Jr., Halliburton, KPJ. Cade, Grayson Allen, Hart, Giannis, Bam, Luka, Thanasis, McGee. Is this too chalky? No. Henry Rugg, yeah, that's tough. That's sad. I saw that today. All right, guys, anything else, or I'm going to call it on that? Cool. Kaminsky triple-double watch. I think Jalen Smith plays the backup 5. I could be wrong. It could be Kaminsky, but based on what the rotations have been, I think it's Jalen Smith. You're one of the best of us. We'll just don't know it yet. Hey, man, thanks a lot. Really appreciate the kind words, guys. All right, I'm going to call it on that. Good luck tonight, guys, and I will see you guys back here tomorrow.